and also apologies for starting a little bit late. We are going to make sure that we do not keep you long. However, we will afford you as much opportunity to engage with the statement immediately after the reading. Before we start, I would want to introduce the executive of the University of Hare Convocation here present. Fortunately, they are all on my political left. The first one is Nom Sokana, followed by Advocate Andy Lenini, who is the president of the Convocation. Then Mbuli Ganyaza, who is the secretary. And lastly, Sonalon Tendela. We have apologies from other colleagues who, and Sezambo Bella, who were colleagues who could not make it. As you know, that some of our colleagues are in different provinces and in different countries. So we've got representatives of Convocation in other countries like Zimbabwe who could not make it today. Without really much ado, colleagues, I also would like to appreciate the presence of the University of Hare Marketing Division and alumni section that are here with us. Thank you so much for being part of this session to truly show that it is an institutional event, as it were. I will, at this stage, colleagues, as I welcome the media for coming and thanking you for your time, allow the President to read the statement, after which we will take additions and then questions from the media.
Thank you very much, Mr. Baha, the spokesperson of the Convocation of the University of Hare. Thank you very much, colleagues, for your presence here. Today is the 9th day of June 2023. The Convocation is hereby addressing the members of the media on the recent developments at the University of Hare. We gather today to address several pressing concerns that have been widely reported in the media and elsewhere, raising significant alarm about our esteemed university for the past 3 years. As the Convocation, we have observed with deep concern the recent developments at the University of Hare, which have led to a tarnished reputation and compromised integrity of our institution. It is public knowledge that the university has been in news recently for all wrong reasons. Its reputation has been significantly tarnished and an image greatly compromised due to high-profile news reports involving allegations of academic fraud, corruption, disputes involving its students, administrators, workers, and government over past 3 and 4 years. Since 2021, we have sought to engage management without luck to address this concern, nudging it to promptly take corrective measures to enhance the integrity and effectiveness of its admission process. Despite numerous attempts to engage with management and propose constructive solutions, we regret to note that our concerns have been met with indifference. The university, in our view, has failed to acknowledge the gravity of the situation and take swift and decisive action to address the underlying issues. It is imperative that these challenges be confronted head-on with transparency, fairness, and to the best interests of our institution. The Convocation is committed to the continued success and prosperity of the University of Hare. We call upon all stakeholders, including alumni, students, faculty, administrators, and government, to unite in addressing these challenges and working towards the collective betterment of our beloved University of Fort Hare. We highlight the following issues that demand immediate attention. We first and foremost want to talk to the misunderstood role of convocation. We have noticed a concerning lack of understanding regarding the role and the significance of convocation within the university community. The convocation is a representative body, plays a pivotal role in safeguarding the interest of alumni and upholding the values and tradition of our institution. We urge all stakeholders to recognize the importance of the convocation and actively engage with members of the convocation. The convocation is comprised of esteemed alumni who have excelled in diverse fields of endeavors, bringing a wealth of experience and knowledge to the university community. Our commitment in upholding these high standards of academic excellence and integrity is unwavering. We firmly believe that convocation's insight and contributions are invaluable in shaping the future of the University of Fort Hare. The recent utterances attributed to the university spokesperson in the media clearly confirms that the university takes dim view of our advisory and lies in responsibility between the university and its alumni as enshrined in the university statute. By diminishing this gazetted role, the university not only disregards the concerns and needs of its former students, but also fails to acknowledge the significant role alumni play in the development of the institution. We'll now deal with the issue relating to allegations of academic fraud. The convocation strongly condemns any form of academic dishonesty and fraud within the university. Such actions undermine the integrity of our institution and devalue the hard work and the achievement of the honest students and faculty members. We call for a thorough investigation into these allegations, and if found true, those responsible must face appropriate consequences. The unfair treatment and dismissal of students who have received distressing reports of students being unfairly academically treated and dismissed without proper recourse on their registered courses. Such action not only undermine the rights of the affected students, but also erode the trust and confidence of the entire student body. We urge the university management to establish transparent and equitable process to address student grievances and provide avenues of redress. We'll now address the issue of some students at Fort Hare who were registered for BCom accounting, and such were, at the end of the day, they were relegated to BCom general. We're saying that this decision by make of the university, this decision not only undermines the effort that we put in our studies, but also diminishes the professional recognition and opportunities that our BCom accounting degree should rightfully afford us. Potential employers, professional organizations, and other stakeholders may now question the legitimacy and the proficiency of our qualification, leading to potential disadvantage in the job market. On the student debt, we call upon all alumni to join us in raising funds specifically designated to assist students who have completed their academic requirements but are unable to obtain their degree certificates due to outstanding fees. By increasing our collective financial support, we can alleviate the burden on these students and enable them to receive the recognition they deserve for their hard work and dedication. We request that the university provide a transparent and regular reports regarding the number of students who fall within this category. This information will enable us as alumni to better understand the scale of the issues and ensure that our efforts are effectively targeted. Transparency will also help us to build trust and encourage greater participation from the alumni community. Therefore, we are deeply concerned about the deteriorating infrastructure at the University of Fort Hare, declining academic and research output, and exodus of experienced lecturers from the university. This includes the unexplained early departure of the chairperson of the University Council. We believe that these issues must be urgently addressed to ensure the continued growth and excellence of our institution. The Convocation firmly believes in the importance of the student labor activism, as well as the meaningful engagement of all stakeholders, including council, institutional forum, Convocation, and a wider community. These platforms are fundamental in fostering a vibrant and inclusive university environment that encourages innovation, collaboration, and intellectual growth. We wish to provide an update on the actions that we have taken, and I want to urge the members of media to listen very carefully. This is important. Despite our persistent efforts to engage with the university administration, our calls for meaningful dialogue and opportunities to contribute have been consistently denied in the university. The Convocation's role has been neither recognized nor appreciated, as evidenced by lack of resources and support provided to us to carry out our essential work as this important structure. In light of this, we have written to the university on numerous occasions, and I'm sure members of media would witness that we've been writing letters to the university, urging them to engage with us and to consider our suggestions for resolving these difficulties. Regrettably, these efforts have been met with silence and inaction, further exacerbating the issues at hand. Additionally, we have reached out to the University Council on multiple times. The last letter was last week, proposing viable means to address the various difficulties faced by the University of Fort Hare. Specifically, we have called for the establishment of an independent investigation into the alarming allegation of academic fraud that have engulfed our institution. This proposed investigation aims at identifying the root cause of these issues and outline comprehensive steps to restore the academic integrity of the university. Unfortunately, these calls have also gone unanswered. Recognizing the urgent need for action, the Convocation has now escalated the matter, and this is also very important. The Convocation has now escalated the matter to the Minister of Higher Education, Science and Innovation, Dr. Blade Nzimande. In our correspondence, we have requested the Minister to institute an independent investigation into academic fraud-related issues that are currently facing the university. We firmly believe that this investigation must be conducted by an independent entity of the university, which possesses the necessary expertise to address systematic academic policy and processes that have faced our institution. The report from this investigation should provide clear recommendations for remedial action and the restoration of the institution's academic integrity. It is crucial to note that we do not question the capability of the Special Investigation Unit. However, we firmly believe that an investigation into systemic academic issues requires specialized knowledge and understanding that may not fall within the purview of the SIU. Therefore, we call for a ministerial investigation that will comprehensively address this matter with utmost urgency. In closing, we call upon the entire community of the University of Fort Hare, including alumni, students, faculty, staff, and concerned citizens, to stand up and protect the integrity of our beloved institution. Now it is the time for unity and collective action to ensure that the University of Fort Hare can overcome these challenges and emerge stronger than ever. I'm sure you see all of us here, we came wearing our blazers. This is a symbol that as a leadership of alumni, we believe in the brand Forte. We believe in the prestige of our institution. We believe that Forte is a brand that we can never exchange or trade with it with anything in the world. We are coming here today to demonstrate to the world that there is still a prestige within this brand, and want to call upon to all alumni to take up upon themselves and embark in a mobilization countrywide and in the globe to wear these blazers with pride and show people that we're still proud of this institution. All what we are coming here to address today is that we are protecting the integrity of the brand Forte, and we are jealous of it. Us as former students of Forte, we have got nothing to show except for our qualifications at Forte. And it is therefore incumbent upon us to make sure that we protect the brand Forte. And in thus, we coming to the end of this media statement. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, President. Colleagues, if you want to add anything to the statement.
Thank you very much, Mr. Baha. There's just but one thing that we wish to make public, is that as we're all here, we're receiving messages from different students. We're receiving messages from even current students that are in the University of Forte. You've got almost like a group of 89 students that were funded by private donor, that which since 2021, they have not been given the monies that are due to them, which that money is coming from a private donor to assist students to graduate in that university. And even today, they have not yet graduated. The university is not coming up clean to say what happened to the money. And secondly, you've got a scenario where students themselves feel not safe in the university because of the entire environment. There are some pictures that you go to see now in that university of an investigation that is in session, and it's cutting across, and you've got academics in that university that are so much in pain. Those that have not left the University of Forte is because they have not yet been offered anything better somewhere, but many have left the University of Forte, seasoned one. And anyone else who understands the pedagogy of education will understand that when you are a seasoned academic, it also talks to the type of students that you then produce. And as things stand, the university is in a serious problem when it comes to that area. So the point here is that we're calling on all University of Forte, former student, the current student, the community of Eastern Cape as a whole, and the country to protect the university. Because it's incumbent upon ourselves to understand that if we don't do that, by the time the dust settles down, there will be no University of Forte. And we have an experience of that university not being in existence, and it was a very tall order for it to be resuscitated back. It's a call that we're making that all University of Forte students, the community of Alice, the community of Eastern Cape, South Africa, and everyone else who has an obligation to take responsibility, must take responsibility what is happening, and everyone else who has an obligation to partake in the rehabilitation of that university must do that, and we're extending a hand to everyone else to do that, because this is the only thing that we have as people of Eastern Cape, not just as Forteans, because if you look at all the universities in this country, Forte remains as a university that is different, and it's a university that its own obligation and existence is to extend a hand to those who don't see it possible to attain higher education, and that is the call that we're here for. Nothing else, nothing. Thank you, Chancellor.
Thank you, Mr. Kufela. Is there any other initiative? Ms. Kanyas?
Thank you so much, Mr. Baha. I think what we want to emphasize on to the entire country, the community, everyone who is attached to the Forte, whether they are wearing this blazer or not, that Forte exists, Forte has existed, and Forte shall continue to exist. We are saying people should not lose hope to the university given the current circumstances or the current situation or challenges that the university is confronted with. We are here to say, come next academic year, the families, the communities must continue to send their students at the University of Fort Hare because our qualifications, they still have a value. I am a proud Fort Harean, and we want to spread the message that let us not shy away from engaging on these issues. We stand for the investigations that are currently taking place because, as the President has said, if there is any fraudulent activities, let that be dealt with. Let that be dealt with. If there are people that are involved, let those answer. But it cannot be that when we are working there, we cannot walk tall because we are Fort Hareans. That remains a very respectable and a very strong brand that we are still remaining proud of. That's the message that we're conveying. We are in support, but what we cannot stand for, it is people that are brutally dealt with on any issues that are happening at the University of Fort Hare. Thank you.
No. Colleagues, at this stage, I will allow you to take questions from the media, and the statement will be distributed immediately. Anyone is allowed to ask. Keeping this meeting.
All right. Thank you, Chair. I just want to pose a question to the President or the Congress. I would say the media briefing is the last resort, maybe in between. For the past year or so, we've been engaging with the management of the university to no avail. Is that so?
Question to the President. Just a couple of questions really. Why do you think, first of all, is the university not responding to the calls? Number one. And where do you believe things went wrong with the university? When did these problems start?
Stand from the daily dispatch. Now, to the President or maybe to the entire context, like, who do you think is the stamp from? Maybe you can mention names or maybe the office. So, in as far as trying to engage with the management at the university, who do you think is making life difficult for you? Thanks.
SABC.
Right. To the President, you said that you want an investigation that should be done by the Department of Higher Education. And also that you say that you have got no problem with the SIU doing this investigation. So just one clarity on that. Are you saying that the SIU is not capable of doing this investigation? And also maybe comment on the recent developments regarding the damage to property, which has happened in the past weekend.
News 24.
Mr. President, I just want to get your view on the court action launched by the Premier to try and block the SIU and the President from continuing with this investigation into academic fraud. What is the view of the Convocation on that? Do you support the Premier?
Can we answer this one?
Let's take the last
Okay.
one. The SABC.
Firstly, you say that the university does not actually acknowledge some of the challenges of the institution. And we understand that Professor Mufulungu has been saying that they've embarked on a mission to root out corruption and all those other things. So I'm assuming the position of Sakela Mufulungu and the intervention to try and root out that corruption is something that you are not in line with, or what? I'm not sure where does that intervention lies in this statement. Secondly, you're saying that the university has been blocking students out, or removing students with no formal recourse or a proper, way of doing it. Does this tie with what the Premier has said about him and the SIU investigation, that he has been excluded from the university with no proper, way of going about it?
Okay. Thank you very much, colleagues. I'll first deal with the issue that Keith has raised. From the date we were elected, we had one meeting with the Vice Chancellor, one meeting. We've been in office now for quite some time. And we adopted a program of action which would have allowed us to have meetings monthly. He came to our welcoming meeting, we outlined a program of action, and that was the last time we saw him.
Sorry, when was that?
2021. Yeah. Towards the end of 2021, that's when we were elected. Roundabout, that's when we were elected. So we had a meeting then. And that was the last of it. We saw him. In the next meeting, they sent the university registrar. And that was also the last of it that we saw him. And other meetings, they've just been not sitting due to unavailability of university management. Now, this is a very important platform where issues affecting former students and the university should be discussed. And if those meetings are not sitting, then this structure will cease to be effective, because there is no platform given for this structure to be able to address its concerns. Why the university is not responding, quite frankly, I don't know. And I doubt any one of us knows. That is why we have made the conclusion that they have got less interest in this structure. That is an inference that we're drawing. But as to why they are not responding, we don't know. We can only draw a conclusion that they are less interested in dealing with convocation. So that's what we want to submit. What went wrong? I don't know if there is anything wrong. I don't know, and I don't want to be co-opted to that suggestion that there's something wrong. Something wrong is that management is not meeting with Convocation. And we are writing to them, they are not responding to us. Perhaps that question belongs to somebody else, not with us. Where we seated, we know nothing that is wrong. What is only wrong is that they are not meeting with us. I will capture the same with the issue of the stumbling block. Who is the stumbling block? The stumbling block, I don't know. I don't know the stumbling block. We want to know why they are not meeting with us. Perhaps if they can agree to come to a meeting with us and tell us what is the stumbling block, that question they can better respond to. But wherever the university management is, please ask them that we want to meet with them. We are asking them to meet with us. The former students of Forte, they've got serious pressing issues that they would want us to discuss with them. And we cannot discuss those issues with them because they are unable to meet with us for a reason that is not known. So please tell them that we are making a call. We are busy, we are painfully asking them that they must at least make time for this very important structure. And they must give cognizance and understand that this is a legitimate structure, elected, and it has got a right to represent former students. The question that relates to Department of Higher Education versus SIU, I think our statement is very clear. We don't doubt and cast aspersions on the investigation conducted by SIU. It is correct. And we're saying the investigation that relates to academic fraud is a specialized investigation. Therefore, it needs a specialized knowledge, which in our view may not be in the purview of the SIU. And hence we say the department that has the necessary skills, expertise, and knowledge is DHEAD that can deploy experts to come and look at the issues of academic fraud. Hence we say they are relevant people to look at this specific specialized investigation. Court action launched by the Premier. You see, there's been a euphoria going around that even this press conference is called for that purpose. We're not here to do that. Here, we're here to defend the academic integrity of the University of Fort Hare and to reclaim the prestige of the University of Fort Hare. Now, the Premier has launched court action, perhaps even other people, I don't know. And that's not the reason we're here. That issue is a sub judice issue, is an issue of courts. And those matters will be ventilated in court, and the court will truly adjudicate upon those matters. And when the determination has been made by the court, we will comment on the matters. For now, we respect the court process and want the judicial process to take its course in a smooth running, undisturbed. So we don't want to be tempted and be co-opted to those narrative. That's not the reason we're here. We want the former Forterians, people who have graduated from that university, when they walk tall in the street, they must not be suspected that they have fraudulently obtained their degrees. The issue of degrees at Fort Hare, it's only the investigation on public administration, honors and masters, not even all public administration, honors and masters. And hence we are saying that the university must issue a report that says we're investigating, I'm making an example, we're investigating X number of students, so that it can be clear in public that not everybody is investigated. And they must be able to say, this investigation starts here, these are the ambits, so that it is clear to the public. This rip and piece of leaking of information to the media, one by one, it is wrong. It is wrong. It is even giving that an impression that there is a long list that still has to be produced. And yet people, they don't know when this investigation starts, when it will end. They must issue a report and be clear that these are the parameters of the investigation. Not everybody who have done these degrees under investigation. Because if you don't do that, you will run a risk of nullifying the very important qualification of the University of Fort Hare. And mind you, there are people who have got employment, important positions across the country through this qualification. And they are tiptoeing wherever they are because there is a narrative that their degrees are under investigation, which is not the case. Few number of people who have been investigated for the awarding of degrees, and that must be clear. It's not all the degrees that are being investigated. So the doubt and aspersion are casted against anybody who have got a degree at Fort Hare is wrong. We're seated here, we're all professionals, and we don't doubt us being professionals. We're credible professionals produced by Fort Hare, and there is no investigation on us. So that must be clear. We want to put it clear. University rooting corruption, I think that was a question from SABC, and what is our stance on that? We are clear that university must root corruption. It must. It must root corruption. But an act of rooting corruption must be balanced. Must be balanced. It must not be done at the expense of tainting the reputation of the institution. We must score a balance. These media leaks that happens every day in the name of rooting corruption, they've got a potential of tainting the reputation of the university. All universities have got their own fair share of challenges. Stellenbosch have got its own fair share of challenges. They have dealt with that matter with dignity that it deserves. It was not all over in the news every day. There's a publication of Stellenbosch. UNISA has its own fair share of problems. They are dealing with their issues with dignity that it deserves. Why Fort Hare must be a shop of media headlines? What existing that?
Mr. President, I have to correct you. These institutions you are talking about, they are all over there, and just like Fort Hare. I just want to
Okay.
make it clear that
All right, but
in reporting largely about
all right, but from where we seated, we want Fort Hare less of it in the news, and that is our stance. One less of Fort Hare in the news to deal with these issues with integrity that it deserves, and a comprehensive report after the investigation is completed. It must then be provided to the public, and want it to be done in a dignified way. So that is our stance. So we're not against the rooting out of corruption, but let there be a balance between how that can potentially damage the reputation of the institution. I think I've dealt with all the questions, and if colleagues want to add, thank you.
Maybe let me just explain what the President has said. The President is not saying it is wrong for Forte to be in the news. Forte is in the news for all reasons. Secondly, he's not saying other universities do not have this problem, and I'm not being reported. We have been clear that this situation started as early as 2021. It can't drag that long. To this date, as media, you're not having a report as to who are these people that the university is investigating. As we sit right now, only politicians' names appear. Is it really possible that those people that are registering these people corruptly would choose to do it to politicians only and not do it to their family friends and to their friends and family? The issue of academic fraud needs to be depoliticized. The leaks must stop. The university must have an investigation. The university must also accept that they are structured. One of the structures that are key is the council of that university. Does council have these reports? No. Does Convocation, whose qualifications are being questioned, have a report from Forte? No. Who has the report? It is News 24. We are saying that is unfair. Let the university come clean, come to us as people whose qualifications are being questioned, and say to us, we are investigating 24. We have a case against her. These ones are politicians. These are current students. These are students who have hesitated. We do not have that report. And also the university should be a place for safe academic learning and exploration. As we speak now, we've got IP'd in that institution. So the headlines next week will be about about a team of IPs that is investigating brutality on students and academics on campus, and staff and academics in that very same institution. We are saying this needs to stop. Had we had an opportunity with the university, we would have advised as to how these issues should be handled. And by the way, you would have noticed that our statement is clear. It is focused only on issues to do with the role and responsibility of the Convocation, which is to protect the integrity of our academic programs, which is to protect the interests of Convocation, which is to liaise on their behalf with that institution. We have been denied that opportunity. The issues of governance at that institution, they need to be strengthened. We feel that there is a problem with council. The president did explain it, that we've been writing to that council. By the way, talking about corruption, you would have expected that the council of that university would have said something about what is happening in that institution. Where are they? Nothing. The Vice Chancellor is being made some poster guy of fighting corruption. It shouldn't be. It should be an institutional program. At worst, it gets him to be targeted for no reason because of the weakness of council that should be playing a role and defend that institution from everything that is happening there. There's been arson on campus. Where is council? Nothing. Those are employers of the very same Vice Chancellor. Why are they keeping quiet? Why are they not showing publicly the support they have for the Vice Chancellor? Take the last one. A chairperson of council has resigned. It is not in the news. What are the reasons? What is the story behind the early departure of the chair of council? It is those things that we would have asked if we had the opportunity and allow the university to take us into confidence. and explain so that we do not face other problems going forward. Because students who studied at Forte, they only have one thing. They have to have a chance of getting employment in this country. It is the paper they hold. We have a responsibility to protect that certificate. And we are not going to allow anyone to use Forte as a political football, use these qualifications as some game to attack and do anything that undermines the academic integrity of that institution that most of us fought so hard to save.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Bacher. I think there's only one part that I want to also speak on in terms of our meetings with the university management team. We have had several meetings with the university, but I must say, to our disappointment, all the issues that were lifted that should be discussed in those meetings would never get any information or report. The management team that will be representing the university would rather request that they would refer this to the registrar or to the vice chancellor. And we got tired of coming back and forth to meetings without making any breakthrough. The last 3 meetings that we had collapsed simply because the previous reports that we've recently requested from the university, we were not getting any information. Most of what is happening in our own university, we're also reading it from the media, from the public domain, as if we were visitors or as if we were spectators. So therefore we are saying, yes, there is a schedule of meetings. Even when meetings sit, you would not be making any progress. The last 3, yes, there's been invitations that could not be honored simply because there's been no information that's forthcoming. So we felt that we are repeating the same thing over and over again, wasting our time, our resources. By the way, this office is not even funded by the university in any way to ensure that the convocation is better able to execute its responsibilities. We run the office literally from our own pockets and resources. And the time that we spend to ensure that we give our best is as well not recognized. So that is really not fair. We are representing the collective, we are representing alumni, and we are not going to do this without the university.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Just one thing, Mr. Park. Just a clear example. We wrote a letter to the university, I'm sure you saw it a week ago. Where we seated, we don't have an answer of that letter, but the media has. They answered the media, but there is no answer to us. The media knows what is the answer of the university to the letter, but Tina, we never received an answer. So I just wanted to show that. Thank you.
Question, colleague? In the absence of Bob.
Just one last thing, colleagues. And what I like the most is that all of us, we are academics. In fact, we are graduates from different universities. And everyone else is having an understanding of what is happening in the country in terms of unemployment and employment. Between the year, it must have been 2015 to 2017, I think there's a report that was written by the Department of Higher Education, if I'm not mistaken, analyzing universities of the country and their own absorption rates of graduates that come from those universities. And at that time, University of Forte was sitting at 12%. And if we may put it hypothetically, we can say at that time the University of Forte was normal. We would argue that because in terms of its own image in the public and the degrees and the qualifications that are offered there was no much of this publicity and the statement. It was at 12%. The economy now is shrinking daily. We all know that. And the University of Forte is in the public with all what is there. And everyone else would be interested, what would be an outcome of a research that could be done now to assess the absorption rate of graduates of the University of Forte. That's one. Two, recently there's a rating of all universities in terms of their own throughput of postgraduate students. And University of Forte moved from 280 something that it was in to 245. And there is just no explanation of what could have happened. And the only thing else that we can imagine is the exodus of academics in that university, seasoned academics. And those were the people that were producing papers. Those were the people that were producing research, not just for the university, by the way, but for the country. And also, those are the individuals that were assisting other universities in terms of them assessing students that are doing postgrad studies. So the entire issue for us is the credibility of the university and the facts that are glaring that are there, that which needs all of us to attend to them. And we all have a responsibility to do that. And of course, we are not here for any individual. We're not here to defend a person. And even if myself, President, for an example, I could be accused of having done anything wrong at Forte, you have no obligation to defend me, but defend the University of Forte. That's the only thing that we're here for. We're here to defend the prestige of that university, the only heritage that we have as former students, and protecting the future of our own kids. Because currently, I tell you, I've got my younger sister that is studying at the University of Forte, and every day I worry, is she going to be safe? Is she going to graduate? What is going to happen tomorrow? Those are the realities that we're living with.
Thank you so much, colleagues. We will allow for one-on-ones with the President immediately after the session. Yes, then the statement will be circulated. And in the absence of further questions, I will allow for the second phase of the press conference, which is the interviews. Thank you so much, group.
Thank you.
Okay, to the first one, first bite. One-on-one.
Oh, are we having another round of questions?
No.
Or is it one-on-one?
No,
If you've got a question, you can.
Yeah, okay. My other question, since Sakela Moshomo, the Vice Chancellor, has stepped into the position, some have seen him as some sort of a messiah, a savior of the university. He's tried to root out corruption. Some say he's dealt with the issues of some of the staff that have been shot at, assassination attempts. And he's called on the President, not the Premier, to assist Forte University. In your view, is this not the right way to go about things?
Look, it's first and foremost, rooting out corruption should in all costs be commended. Should in all costs be commended. It is the right way of doing things, that we must root out corruption. But how you do that becomes very important. And that is our stance, that when you do that, you must not root out corruption and forget your core business. Your core business is academic excellence, is to run a university. So we want to see more of a Vice Chancellor who comes to the media and talk about academic excellence, and talk about teaching, learning, research, and community engagement. We don't want to see more of a Vice Chancellor who's coming to the media to announce investigations. You know, SIU and other law enforcement agencies have got their own spokespersons to do that. You must allow those processes to proceed. And of course, there are appropriate structures like council, like institutional forum, where you can brief the university stakeholders. He must utilize those structures. But we want to see him talking about academic excellence, inspiring confidence to people to come and study at Forte, to regain the lost grounds, and to make people again to believe in the brand Forte. Thank you.
Just clarity, Mr. President, on the SIU investigation. Your views of the SIU. Are you saying the SIU must stand down and Mr. Blinken should take over?
No.
And second question, most of us here are aware that the convocation is largely or if not entirely, made up of ANC members. And we know that the current academic fraud investigation mostly it's ANC members who are subject, or it's politicians or political figures who are members of the ANC who are subject of the investigation. Now, how do you ensure that the public views you guys as neutral in all of this, considering the fact that you guys are ANC members and these are comrades who are under investigation?
Also, to add on that question, are you able to explain this political agenda that, in fact, I heard Mr. Baha saying the investigation should not be, should be politicized. So are you able to explain a political agenda, maybe if there's any in the institution?
Right. I'll answer, and I'm sure Mr. Baha will add this. Yeah.
You are saying we are all ANC members.
No, I'm just saying largely or entirely.
But how do you know? But how do you know?
I know.
What am I?
I've seen the ANC. Oh, sorry. But I need to rephrase. I've seen Advocate Mimi,
Yes.
the president, in ANC regalia. In fact, participating actively in campaigns of the ANC, even on the posts pictures every day.
Yeah, no, let's deal with that. You heard our statement mention nothing about the ANC and mentioned nothing about ANC members. So that should tell you that we are separating the two. Clearly, we are separating the two. We are representing former students of Hare from all walks of life. And those students that we are representing, even if you can go to campus at Hare now, there are various student formations. And those are the people who voted for us from all walks of life. And even ourselves who have got a right of association with any member, which we are not confusing it with this role that we are having here. So that must be understood. And I think Mr. Parker will deal with the other part.
And what was the other part?
Depoliticizing. Okay, maybe let's deal with this part that you asked about the SIU. Are we saying SIU must step down? No, we're not saying that. We're saying the investigation must go concurrently. SIU must deal with criminal matters, as it is doing in terms of its proclamation. But the issues relating to academic fraud and systems within the university, that we believe that it is as a result of where we are today, weakness on systems, those issues must be dealt with by a specialized body, and we're saying that specialized body is Department of Higher Education. I hope that's clear. Yes.
No, thanks. Colleagues will hold a view that, as we indicated earlier, there is a process about questioning the standing of the SIU that is different from ours. Ours is the delineation of roles. SIU must do corruption-related issues. The assurance of industry and academic community will be a product of the correction of systems, policies, and academic structure. We do not think that falls under the purview of SIU. And for that process to be credible, it must come from peers. That is, academics from different institutions must be called upon and experts by the minister, and the minister must oversee the investigation. Currently, the university is investigating itself. It is investigating its own admission processes, the registration processes and staff, the Senate and everybody. That type of investigation is or less independent. That is why we're saying this investigation must be independent. The issue of politics, the political depoliticizing the investigation. Colleagues, you will agree with me that all the names that have been leaked in the media are politicians. And we hold a view that the road could be deeper than just politicians. Let us investigate. By the way, this investigation will be more credible if it has got other people other than politicians, because it is not possible that it would only, if your systems, your admission systems and your registration systems have collapsed, they will only collapse only for politicians. It means we could be sitting with a bigger problem, and let that be investigated so that we would come out of this crisis and never look back. So if we do one part, we are going to come back here to talk about the staff of the university who got fraudulently. So that's the point we are making. Second phase, one-on-ones. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, so colleagues, we also wanted to mention that we are going to be calling for an AGM.
No, not an AGM, special general meeting.
Special general meeting
Yeah.
on the 18th of June 2023.
It's on Sunday, yeah.
Where we will engage more with the convocation and our constituency and take further mandate on how to move forward. Thank you so much.
So it must be clear, it's not an AGM, it's a special general meeting. AGM in terms of our statute is something else. So a special general meeting will be calling to discuss specifically the state of the University of Fort Hare.
Yeah, you are allowed your one-on-one send it to your own colleagues, those who might be discussing tomorrow are available.
I'll check them
How are you, SABC? Come here, let's
I always tell him that if anything like that, it misses that age. It's
It's not elective, it's just a general.